The prior videos were all very foundational things that everyone should know as a guitar player. And now this video is going to be like some basic actual playing that I usually teach most people. The first thing you should keep in mind when you're playing guitar, this is one way of thinking about it. There are two roles in guitar, or two roles. When you play guitar, you can either play lead guitar. Lead guitar is specifically when you're playing notes, right? Each of these spots that I'm pressing on, and this single sound that I play, all these are called notes. Okay. I'm playing multiple notes, and eventually, if arranging and playing all these notes, I'm playing a melody. And all that, if I just play melodies throughout a song, that's usually called the lead guitar. Now, what's the other role a guitar player can be? It's called a rhythm guitar, and which is what I'm going to be focusing on with you as a beginner, and that's usually what I do most Sundays. And rhythm guitar simply is usually you're playing chords and you're strumming. You're strumming and you're playing multiple notes at the same time, right? So this is one note, and this is one note, one sound being played once. If I press my finger in multiple places, these are multiple notes I'm pressing on. I strum three of the strings, and I've created a chord. The basic idea of a chord is multiple notes. This is one note, multiple notes. This is called a chord. Here's another definition. If you hear the word scale, a scale is playing a certain set of notes, right? Right. So I suppose the difference between a scale and a chord is with a chord you're playing multiple notes, but you're playing them all at the same time. And a scale is you're playing multiple notes, but they're all separate. That's one way of thinking of it, anyways. So that was the first thing on the two different roles. The second topic would be going over a thing called standard tuning. This has to do with tuning. So if you don't know anything about tuning, this is one thing to keep in mind. Remember the last video I talked about the different numberings of each strings. The thickest is called the sixth, and the lowest or the thinnest is called the first string, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 string. These are the numbers assigned to each of them. Now there are also letters or notes notes assigned to each of these strings. When it comes to the musical alphabet is just like the regular alphabet, right? We have a set of letters from which we use to create words. In the musical alphabet, we only have 6. It's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. After G, so there's just 7 letters. After G, it just starts over as A, okay? So from those letters, we kind of assigned each spot on a keyboard or on a guitar a letter. So each of these strings themselves have a letter. Not by default. Well, I mean, yes, by default, but it's based on what you tune it to. So this is what I want to get to, the tuning. These are called tuning pegs. What these do, if you move it clockwise or counterclockwise, depends on how you set up your guitar, you'll hear alternate. So like I'll play the 6th string. Right there, I'm going higher in pitch. I'm going higher. Now I'm going lower in pitch. I'm playing the 6th string. That right there is a note. Now I've tuned it up. Now this is a completely different note. This is still the 6th string, but this is a completely different note. So that's something to keep in mind. So when I was talking about the different notes assigned to each string, there are different tunings, right? This is what you use to tune each string. You change how tight and how loose you want the string, and it'll change when you pluck the string, what note or what pitch the string will sound. So in most videos you'll see on YouTube, all the strings are tuned to something called standard tuning. Standard tuning is that the E string is called E, the fifth string is called A, the fourth is called D, the third is called G, the second is called B, and the first is called E. I recommend most of the things that I said in the videos, I should probably said earlier, you should probably write these down, right? So that's just something to know. And in future videos, I'll explain why that's very important to understand the tunings per each of the strings. Now to get to the actual chords. There are 4 chords I'm going to teach you today. This first chord is called G major. G major. With this chord, don't worry about why it's called G major. Just right now, the most important thing is to keep practicing all the tips I give you, right? The C shape, the alternate pinking that I taught you. Trying to keep your knuckles as curled as possible. Try not to let them flatten like this, right? Try to keep your thumb in the back, not hanging over. You see that I put my thumb over, I naturally bring up my wrist, and that's going to affect my playing. You don't want your wrist to be up, because if your wrist is up, there'll be less space, but you want space between the palm and your bottom of your guitar. So it's called G major. First thing you do, you get your third finger, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Your third finger on the first string, slide it up to the 3rd fret. 1, 2, 3. The first marker on your guitar, the 3rd string. Put it up against the fret, not on it, not on the fret wire, right next to it. You can touch it, but not on it. You take your first finger and you put it on, slide it to the 2nd fret and jump up to the 5th string. The 5th string. Now you take your middle finger and it should already naturally be towards the 3rd fret. This one should extend all the way over, pressing on the 6th string. Right? So 6th string, 5th string, 1st string. Another thing to keep in mind when you're pressing, you want to try to angle your fingers so that the pads of your fingers aren't touching strings that are below them, because if they start touching them, they'll mute them and then you'll sound off, right? So once you have this shape, I want you to slowly strum all the strings. So you strum all the way down from the thickest to the thinnest. I want you to do it again, and I want you to listen to hear if you hear any thuds, anything that's not clear. This one's clear. You hear that thud? When you hear a thud, you have to think about, what is the problem? Is the problem, am I not pressing strong enough on the 5th string, or is my 2nd finger blocking the string below it? And you have to figure it out. And then once you solve it, you just kind of maybe have to adjust your finger or something. So, and then you keep going. So that should sound clear. Second chord is called E minor. If you already moved your hand, it's okay. Right? You know, you could wiggle your fingers, so you know, not so tense, relax, keep relaxed. This one's very simple. You take your 1st and 2nd finger, put them together, slide them from the 1st fret to the 2nd fret. Now what you do here is you put your second finger, your middle finger, and you put it on the fifth fret, the fifth string, fourth string, second fret, fourth string, second fret. Your first finger goes on the second fret, fifth string, okay? And they're basically together like this. That's why I said put them together. So, right? So now what you do here is also do the same thing like I said the last time. You strum all the strings, and you do the same thing I told you to do with the G major. Do them individually. If it sounds clear, you're good. You don't have to do anything. So that's called E minor. Third chord I'm going to teach you is called C major. C major, you're going to start with your first finger, first fret, second string. Your second finger is going to go the second fret, fourth string. Second finger, second fret, fourth string. Your third finger is going to go the third fret, fifth string, okay? Now, what I want you to do here, instead of strumming all 6 of the strings, I don't want you to strum the 6th string. Don't strum the thickest. Strum strings 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, strum all those except the 6th string. And if you hear any thuds, adjust it. You have to move your fingers. There's something. Think about what is wrong, okay? Fourth and last chord I'm going to teach you is called D major. That's what it looks like. The first thing you should do is take your second finger, second fret, first string, okay? Next finger is your first finger is also on the second fret, but it's on the third string, okay? This is another example. Remember how I said play against the fret wire? Because my second finger is already next to it, I can, but that's just gonna be awkward and my wrist is gonna be out. So just, it's okay if you can't reach the fret, right? Back to the chord, right? So the third finger goes on the third fret, second string. So one way to think about it is like a triangle, right? So that's what it's gonna look like. What I want you to do with this one, G major and E minor, you strum those 6. C major, you strum strings 5 and down. With D major, I want you to strum only the 4th string down. So you're not strumming 6th or 5th string for D major. You're doing 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, you do the same thing. So throughout this, all these chords, I just want you to practice, just going through them. G major, E minor, C major,